going to do a countdown of the 10 self-help books that I am reading right now and that are changing my life. Stay tuned. What is going on, Kettleheads? Welcome back to another episode of the Tenacious Tea Kettle. My name is Grit Tea. This is my channel where I made a promise to myself to change my life in 3 different ways: professional, physical, and mental health. And along the way, hopefully help as many people as I can who are in similar situations. This episode marks a special episode. This is my 10th episode that I've uploaded to YouTube. 10 episodes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
10 episodes. I'm doing a top 10 self-help books that are changing my life right now. Coming in at number 10 is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This is the original text from 1937. And the reason why this is coming in last, though, is that Napoleon Hill is a very controversial figure. A lot of his claims of meeting Andrew Carnegie and interviewing all these industrial giants have come under scrutiny, and a lot of them have been disputed and others have been called into question. But the concepts in the book still stand today. The material in it has permeated through other texts like The Secret and other law of attraction books. So the concepts that he promotes, a lot of modern day philosophers or a lot of modern day entrepreneurs still follow this concept of positive self-talk, speaking in the present tense as if you have what you want to attain. Those kinds of practices are very helpful, and I've been putting into practice. Whether or not you want to question the man's character or question the man's attributes, the concepts, you got to admit, ring further than he had probably ever expected. I still find the concepts very interesting and very relevant to my situation. So that's why it's number 10. Coming in at number 9 is Gary Vaynerchuk's Crush It. If any of you are familiar with Gary V or Gary Vaynerchuk, he's an online personality who really took advantage of social media and social media advertising and personal branding. He wants to buy the jets. He's an amazing and very magnetic personality. He's very good on camera, and he definitely speaks his mind. He does a really great job of keeping it real and really not dumbing down, but he really keeps it simple. He compares the innovation of the internet to the Industrial Revolution. He's saying that in order to be successful in the future, we everyday people need to embrace online marketing and online branding and taking advantage of different social media sites to extend our brand or bring awareness to it. So starting blogs, starting YouTube channels, starting to utilize our social media platforms for more than just talking to one another. He's also saying that now's the time to pursue your dream and pursue your passion, because an actor is able to be on camera and perform without having someone there decide whether or not they're attractive enough, they have the right fit. We can put ourselves out there, put our faces out there, put our material out there without a gatekeeper or someone holding us back. So essentially he's saying that now's the time to strike while the iron's hot. And yeah, and that's why I really enjoyed this book, because Gary V talks he writes kind of like how he speaks. So it's very easy to hear his voice in his writing. Check him out on YouTube, check out his videos, and then pick up his book, Crush It. It's on Amazon. It's really cheap. I'll have a link in the description for all my books. Next up, coming in at number 8 is The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. The 10X Rule. Now, Grant Cardone is like an infamous salesperson. He's a sales guru. He does sales training. He's a motivational speaker. He is also an internet personality, and where he talks about the importance of selling and how to sell. And he talks about 3 forms of action: inaction, retreat, or just the ordinary action. But to achieve greater things, to achieve near impossible goals, you need to take measures beyond just your everyday actions. So it's inspirational to hear that from someone who's already attained it. Check it out if you're interested. But yeah, the 10X rule, it's more than just sales. It's kind of applicable to life as well. So how you approach obstacles in your life. So check it out. I highly suggest it.
Get to the chopper!
Taking a break from the financial, I have here Arnold Schwarzenegger's Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding. Now, this book I've had for years. I've recently revisited it. I've recently had the chance to revisit this book. It's so inspirational to hear Arnold's story about the exercises that he used essentially transform his body. So I'm reading that to help motivate me into changing how I look. I'm starting my own personal journey. If you guys are interested in that, leave me a comment or a thumbs up to let me know that you want to see a weight loss video, and let me know there's an actual interest in it. Surprisingly, he's a fantastic writer. He has an excellent voice in text, and he's very knowledgeable about the body and the kind of routines you need to begin, in the middle of your journey, and like how to really get down to the nitty-gritty and completely transform your body. Arnold honestly was the best, the most enigmatic, and the most... He is definitely the poster child of bodybuilding. Whenever you think of bodybuilding, you automatically think of Arnold in his prime. Read his Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding. It's quite heavy, and you can get a good workout just by lifting this one. Just sit on my shoulder. Next up, Dan Lok's F.U. Money. This is Dan the Man Lok. It's he's very how do I put this? He definitely has a colorful language. If you can't tell by the title, Dan Lok he's a man who built himself up from the ground up. His parents were immigrants. Him and Gary Vaynerchuk were both immigrants. I guess Gary Vaynerchuk and he and Gary Vaynerchuk were immigrants, and their work ethic is unlike any other. They definitely had something to prove to themselves, to improve their situation, to help their parents out. And there's just something about that type of mentality, that type of motivation, is something that most of us take for granted. Whereas most people would see obstacles, they saw opportunities. So that kind of mindset really propelled them to where they are. Dan Lok is now a multimillionaire. He kind of tells you what you need to do to get that kind of FU money. Now, it's not saying FU money when you have enough money to basically say FU to anyone that you come across. So this book kind of goes through, he kind of talks in circles for a little bit, but then he starts getting into it a couple chapters in. I really enjoyed it. FU Money is really written in a way where it speaks to the emotion and it speaks the language that you would speak with your friends. So if you have a chance, check out Dan Lok's book. Next up, we have legendary Anthony Robbins. So this is Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant, and it's talking about kind of changing your life. And this one really delves into a system where it's actually 4 parts in this book. He also has a Netflix special called I Am Not Your Guru. If you're interested, check that out. But this book was fantastic. I love the way that he writes. You can definitely hear his voice in this one as well. He writes how he speaks, and it's very, not curt, but very, very to the point. He gets to the point rather quickly. So whereas Dan Lok kind of ran in circles, Tony kind of gets right to the point, goes into it, and he definitely has repetition, but it's always to make sure that you understand the concepts. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. If you want to hear more about what exactly each one has to say, leave a comment and I'll be more than happy to delve into it. But I don't want this video to run too long, so I'm just giving my initial thoughts on it, kind of giving a brief synopsis about what it's about. But Awaken the Giant, Tony Robbins, fantastic. You can also check his Netflix special out, I Am Not Your Guru, and check out this next book, YouTube Secrets by Sean Cannell. This one's a definite read if you ever plan on becoming a YouTuber or starting your own channel. It goes into what you would need other than just shooting your videos. I mean, you can start with something as simple as your cell phone. That's what I'm using. I'm using my Note 9. I'm using a $19 microphone that I bought off of Amazon and 2 lights that were also $20. It's more so having the passion for creating and having the desire to learn more or do something that you haven't done before. That's what I had, and I'm really enjoying the process, and I hope you guys as my audience are enjoying it as well. So check out Sean Cannell's book, YouTube Secrets. Also, shout out to Sean Cannell. If you watch this video, thank you so much for your book, and thank you for your channel. I really appreciate you. Next up is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. This is a real short read. If you have read it, it's super simple to grasp. It's basically saying that in order to achieve your dream life, you need to have these 4 agreements that you promise to fulfill. The 4 agreements are: don't take things personally, always do your best, don't make assumptions. What is the 4th one? Be impeccable with your word. How ironic that that's the one. If we are impeccable with our speech, if we are impeccable with our feelings and accurate with our feelings, those kinds of things can lead to a happier and more fulfilling life. That's number 3 is the 4 agreements. 12 rules for life. Now, I don't know if anyone out there has heard of Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is an amazing individual. He's so intellectual, and he speaks from the heart as well as from the mind. He is often misunderstood, though. He is mistaken for a right-wing or an alt-right. He's been called anti-gay and anti-trans when he's really just anti-censorship, and he's really anti-suppression of the freedom of speech. He definitely is a proponent to allowing people to speak freely and speak from the heart and allowing discourse to occur. In his book, 12 Rules for Life, he supposes that there are 12 rules that every person needs to start doing in order to become a better person. Tell the truth, or at least don't lie. That's one of the rules. Or clean your room, which is kind of what inspired me to start my own journey to clean my room, in addition to Marie Kondo. Those are just examples of the type of rules that he has in his book. What can I say about his writing? It's amazing. It's fantastic. He's such a good speaker, and he's definitely a good writer. And I cannot encourage you to read this book anymore. If you have a chance, catch his videos. He's great. He's a great lecturer. He's very intellectual, and he's just an overall great role model to have. That's enough gushing about Jordan Peterson. I could go on hours and talk about all his videos and all his lectures, but I need to move on to the next book. And number 1 is, of course, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. I know people hear The Secret and they think simple-minded people, and I don't care. I really like the book. I really like the concept. Of course, I really like the concept. I really enjoyed the book. I love the read, the testimonials, the examples and the exercises that you need to do, those kinds of things, positive self-talk, the speaking in the present tense, those kinds of things. Those are things that are actionable, those things that I can do, instead of kind of just leaving it up to chance and blaming the world or blaming God or blaming other things that are outside of my control. Those are things I can start doing to change the trajectory of my life. I wholeheartedly believe in the law of attraction. It goes to stand that we all vibrate a certain amount of energy. I mean, we operate day to day. Emotions have a certain frequency. I definitely can feel it. I can't encourage this book anymore. I was turned on to this book a few years ago by a good friend of mine. And yeah, I am still struggling with putting it into action, and actually you kind of have to have that blind faith, and those are the kinds of things that are a little bit difficult in this day and age with instant gratification. So I think that this is a great book to kind of promote that delayed gratification in this day and age. So give The Secret a read, give it a try if you haven't yet. Hit it up on Amazon. I think it's a great kind of introduction into the law of attraction and those kinds of concepts that I've covered in this list. But yeah, that'll do it for this episode of the Tenacious Tea Kettle. If you have a favorite book, leave it in the comments. I would love to see what it is. If you like this video, give this video a like. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button, hit that kettle bell, and become a kettlehead. It helps this channel out immensely, and I would love to get this message out to as many people as possible. Join the kettle community. Until next time, peace!